So you're thinking about moving or relocating to Solana Beach, or maybe you already live here and you want to buy or sell in Solana Beach. Well, in this video, we're going to talk about the pros and cons of living in Solana Beach, California.
Be sure and stay until the end because we have a special tip that we will share with you about the pros and cons of living in Solana Beach.
Hi everyone, it's John Elizabeth Finley coming to you from Solana Beach, California. And if you're someone that wants to know what it's like to live in Solana Beach, where the best places to live in Solana Beach are, where the locals like to hang out, best surf breaks, best beaches, restaurants, favorite things to do, and basically everything you need to know about living in Solana Beach, we drop videos every week. So be sure to hit that like button, the subscribe button, and the bell below to get notified anytime we release a video of what it's like to live in Solana Beach, California.
We get a lot of interest about making these videos. People reach out to us about moving to and or buying and selling in Solana Beach on a daily basis. So if you are one of those people and you are interested in moving to or relocating to Solana Beach, or maybe you currently own a home in Solana Beach, we'll leave our contact info in the description below.
You can call us, you can text us, email us, direct message us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever's convenient for you. We help a lot of people buy and sell homes in Solana Beach, and we're happy to help you too.
All right, jumping right in. Here are the pros and cons of living in Solana Beach. So,
number one.
Yeah, Fletcher Cove.
Fletcher
right?
Cove, one of the cool beaches. It's got a parking lot with a basketball court, lifeguard towers there, so it's safe for families. You've got a little grass area and a little play area, and of course you've got public restrooms, which is always good when you've got the beach. But for you locals, or for those that are not locals, us locals call it Pillbox, but it is named Fletcher Cove.
And why do you call it that?
That's just the nickname that it is. Like, don't stump me like that, but that's the nickname.
All right, okay. Well, and I also know that there's like a big shelf in the water right out of Solana Beach, right?
Off the coast, there's a deep water canyon, so it's like goes after you get past the breakers. There's like a deep water canyon there, but
so that's unique about that area, right?
Yep.
Okay, so con is that there aren't as many beaches, or at least not as much beach access,
right,
in comparison to Del Mar and even Encinitas, which are their neighboring cities, or
Carlsbad. You just don't have a lot of there's bluffs along all of Solana Beach, except for the opening where Fletcher Cove is, which the main road, Loma Santa Fe, runs right into it. But that's kind of like your only beach access, minus a couple places where you have to take some stairs down.
Right.
But, that's...
Yeah, houses line all the bluffs, so it's all private property. So, you know, unless they have their own private stairs,
right,
it's hard to get down. So, a pro, though, is because of that, Solana Beach isn't that crowded. It's not as crowded as Del Mar or Encinitas or Carlsbad.
It's not. I mean, you still get your summertime crowds, but it doesn't seem to be as crowded as Del Mar, Encinitas, or Carlsbad. So it's a cool spot to be when those other cities are like bustling. You can find a little reprieve in Solana Beach.
Right. And I guess, the opposite of that is, though, it doesn't get as much fanfare.
It doesn't. It should, because Solana Beach is such a cool town. But for whatever reason,
Del Mar has its
Del Mar has the cachet, right?
It does. It has that with the horse races and all of that. So,
it doesn't get as much fanfare.
It isn't the yoga or surf capital like Encinitas is. So.
Right. But one of the other pros is the Sidros Design District. And Sidros is a road that runs north-south in Solana Beach. It is one street east of the main highway, Coast Highway 101, but it's got a lot of really cool restaurants, shops.
Right, and it's becoming and has been becoming just so much more. And
art galleries.
Right, art galleries and well, we're going to talk about it in a moment, but it has something that's unique to North County that's really cool. But, and I was thinking, is one of the cons is, there isn't like a true hometown feel in Solana Beach, because
like
it's
a downtown.
That downtown feel. And Sidros Design District is probably the closest you're going to get to that. And I think, they might actually get there, but it's on its way, I guess I could say.
They might, but it doesn't have there's not like a distinct downtown area like you have in Del Mar, or you have in Encinitas, or you have in Carlsbad or La Jolla or stuff like that. So that's kind of a little weird thing about it. But going on to our pro number 4, which ties into Sidros Design District because it is on Sidros, is the Belly Up Tavern.
Yes, and that's the cool thing that I was saying we were going to talk about. It's a music venue. It has big name bands come to it, but it's a small little venue, and so but it has live music. I think 7 days a week.
It's got great acoustics, and it's just a fun it's a fun place. So
place to go dance.
The locals call it the Butt for Belly Up Tavern for the acronym. But it is generally one of the best music venues in all of San Diego. And they get some really, really good bands, phenomenal cover bands, and then they get some big time artists that you would know and love as well. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's fun every time I go there. So moving on to, I guess, a con is Solana Beach gets a lot of the traffic from Del Mar when they have the fair and the horse races, because the fairgrounds are right there on the cusp of Del Mar and Solana Beach.
It's right on the border, and so you get that summertime fair racetrack crowd because there's for a lot of intents and purposes, there's not a big distinction between Del Mar and Solana Beach. They kind of blend together. Yeah. Like Via de la Valle is the cutoff, but they're like right there, and so you're going to get the same amount of crowds you get for the races and for the fair.
And therefore it creates a lot of traffic. And especially right now on Highway 1 down in Solana Beach, they're actually narrowing it down to one lane. So it's even becoming more so of a traffic. And I think they're doing that because they're creating more parking and a little bit maybe more of a hometown feel. So
walkability, riding bikes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
moving on to a pro.
Our pro, it's just a great location. The proximity to it is, it's like we talked about, it's between Del Mar and Cardiff and Encinitas. And so everything you do on the coast is it's sitting right in the middle of all the action. Because a lot of people go to Del Mar, a lot of people go to Encinitas, and then in between is Solana Beach sitting right there with a lot of really cool stuff too. You've got Fletcher Cove, like we talked about, with the beach. You've got some venues which are really cool, and it's a great location.
A bunch of fun restaurants have popped up too in Solana Beach recently.
For sure.
I can think of Death by Tequila. That's a really fun one.
Yeah.
And then, another pro is that there is a lot of hillside in Solana Beach. So it creates a lot of views for a lot of homes. So, and because of that, pricing is kind of pricey. I mean, the houses are pricey,
Houses are pricey.
Because
so
they're up on a hill.
On the hillside west of the 5, you've got it just gradually goes up, and so you have a lot of places that have views of the ocean looking straight out, and then looking to the north towards Cardiff and Encinitas, and then some looking all the way to Solana Beach in La Jolla, and then you've got the Loma Santa Fe section that has great views, some of them looking to the kind of northwest towards Encinitas. And as Elizabeth said, this goes into our next con of the expensive housing.
Yeah, it's like expensive. Del Mar. Yeah, it is. And then sometimes Solana Beach is actually more expensive than Del Mar. And one of the main reasons is because also not only is it expensive, but there's little inventory. Not many homes come up in Solana Beach for sale. They really don't.
Right.
And I think that drives prices up. So one of the reasons why there's such little inventory is because there are great schools in Solana Beach.
Everyone wants to be there.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, it's I guess a perfect storm.
Yeah, I mean,
Beach
it's we've done videos on Del Mar, and it's the same thing. The school districts are phenomenal, K through 6, and then middle school through high school.
Yep.
And it's the same situation. It's the same high school and middle school district as Del Mar, so San Diego
Union
Union
School District.
Right.
One thing that I was mentioning is that the one thing that Solana Beach doesn't have, but it doesn't really matter because they're all so close, is there is no actual high school in Solana Beach. You access the schools from Del Mar, which are literally like a mile away. But
Encinitas, Del Mar, Carmel Valley, that's where the high schools are. They're actually not in Del Mar either. They're in Carmel Valley and Encinitas.
Yeah, right. The high schools aren't, right.
Right.
Okay, but there is a junior high in Solana
You have
Beach.
4 high schools to choose from. The schools are phenomenal. So that's one of the great pros. The con is...
well, there's train noise.
There's train noise.
Yeah.
You've got the train station, Sidros train station, right going through the middle of Solana Beach. And so you get you get train noise.
Yeah, well, in fact, the train tracks, even though they're lowered, take up the opposite side of the Coast Highway 101. And so you've got shops and restaurants on one side, and the other side is reserved for the train.
Right.
You do hear it.
It just breaks up the middle of the town, and so that we talked about there's no true downtown.
Right.
Because the train tracks kind of break it up, it makes it kind of difficult to
have a double-sided street.
Yeah.
Downtown feel.
Right.
Okay, so moving on, something that we love truly about the entire area, but great weather. Great weather exists here in San Diego as a whole, but that's doesn't leave Solana Beach out.
Right. So you've got, we joke the temperature all the time is 72 degrees and sunny. It's not. That's going to take us into our next con, but the weather is good almost all the time, it seems like, except for
May gray and June gloom. That's what we call it, and it's something that I learned when I moved here 20 years ago that I did not know about, is that it gets all gloomy and kind
drizzly,
of cold. And I thought, what is this, second winter?
Yeah.
Here, normally it's a time when it's getting hot. Everybody thinks about going to the beach, and you're bundling up because it's kind of gloomy and cold. It's not as cold as December, but...
Yeah, but I mean,
different.
it's counterintuitive because you think springtime and then you think, okay, it's summertime and it's going to be sunny. And it's just not. I mean, I would literally say 50 out of 60 days, April or May and June, are gloomy.
Yeah, they're gloomy. And they aren't always cold. And
sometimes it burns off in the afternoon, though,
yeah.
and gets sunny.
So you have, there are certain years where we've had less than others. Okay, so something we actually forgot to talk about is that, and it's another pro, is that Solana Beach has a small but good food scene.
Yeah,
in it,
they do. They've got there's not a ton of restaurants, but the restaurants they have are good. And then they've got a staple, which is Pizza Port.
Yeah, I always think of Pizza Port,
where you get your grub and grog. That's what they call it. But great pizza, and then they make their own beer too. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But they have other restaurants as well. But Pizza Port is like a staple. But then they've got some new restaurants that have popped up, and it's got a good little food scene there.
It does.
Yeah.
I think so too. So we are at our end.
Yep, and we promised you guys we would give you a tip at the end if you guys stayed and you stuck around. So congratulations and thank you for doing so. So the tip is that in Solana Beach, they have a really cool festival called Fiesta del Sol. And that happens in June, and I think it's June. It's late June, early July. Now I'm messing myself up, but it happens early summer, and it's really cool. It happens at Fletcher Cove.
Yeah.
And part of Loma Santa Fe. They shut it down. There's booths and displays. They have bands, and it's a really fun festival to go to. It goes for the whole weekend, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. In the summer, they have concerts in the park, which are just really cool because you're sitting there, everyone sets up lawn chairs, and then the band plays. You're looking west, so you're looking at the band, and in the background there's just the sun setting over the ocean, so it's really cool. So
and Fletcher Cove has that like almost like a stadium feel where it's kind of like rounded in. So
it does.
That's a neat place.
It's pretty cool. It's a fun family event for all ages. You see a lot of people taking their little kids there. You see older couples as well. And it's a really cool summertime vibe. So that is our tip. You got to check that out when you are in Solana Beach. Thank you for staying to the end, and thank you for checking out this video. We do these videos all the time. We love helping people buy and sell in Solana Beach. People contact us all the time that move to the area, and it is our pleasure to share our experience, our knowledge of the area, but also our passion because we love it. So we're happy to help you too. If you have any questions, even if you're not looking to move, if you just have questions about Solana Beach, we're happy to answer them and give you the info that you need. Come visit us.
Talk to you soon.